Hey everybody, welcome back to Get Real on Barron.tv. I'm Barron, your host, and this is my beautiful wife and co-host Shara. And today we're talking about the full armor of God, and we're talking about the belt of truth.
Yes, so we're talking about getting truth
Right.
today. And in our previous episodes, we talked about the full armor of God and getting armed. And the full armor of God consists of the belt of truth. That's the first one that we put on. And we'll have other episodes for the other parts of the armor of God. So the first one about truth. The overarching tactic of Satan, our enemy, is deception.
Yeah.
And so it's so important that we gird ourselves and put on some truth. Satan is the father of lies, and
Yes.
he manipulates,
Big time.
and he deceives,
Yeah.
and he intimidates, and he's a master illusionist.
He is. He uses other people to do all that.
Yes.
So if you're being bullied, it's not really that person. They're being used, but the enemy is using other people to create the illusion that you're a loser.
Right. And so illusion is false. It's not true. It's misleading. And it gives you an impression of reality, but
Right.
it's really not reality.
It's like virtual. Virtual means not. So when they
Right.
say virtually it's true, it's not true.
Right.
Virtual reality, not reality. So the virtual realm is where the enemy operates. In the not realm, anything that he says is not true.
And the other thing the enemy loves to do
Right.
is he'll use partial lie combined with a lot of truth.
Yeah.
And then we start to believe that the whole thing is truth, when in reality, the whole thing is a lie. Because if there's just a little bit of yeast in the bread, it's going to spread out to the whole thing. So the whole thing can be a lie.
Yeah.
So we have to know the difference between partial truths and full truth.
Yeah. And if we don't understand the truth, what God says about us, how we're perfectly and wonderfully made, then we're not going to recognize the lies, we're not going to operate in the truth, and we're going to be running around
Right.
with a false impression of who we are. And if we don't know who we are, then others aren't going to know who you are. And that's where the confusion comes in. If you ever met somebody and you're like, that was confusing because I can't really tell. Are they cool? Are they not cool? Sometimes they're cool, sometimes they're not. Because they're confused on who they are. When we get the truth, we put on the armor of truth, then we gird ourselves. We know who we are, and then others can know who we are because we act the same way all the time. We have a way we are, and that's our persona. And our persona is made up of by us understanding the truths about ourselves.
Right. So when we put on the belt of truth, what we're doing is we're giving our core some support.
Yeah.
And our core, the core of who we are is who we are made up to be.
Yes.
And so we strap on that truth and we allow God's word to recalibrate. That means that it sets our base to zero, and it starts building on from there the weight of God's word.
Right.
And you use that as your standard, you use that as your compass, and as you continue to apply it, you're going to start to recognize the truth of God's word in your life.
Right. Because God says, again, you are fearfully and wonderfully made in His image, and God is beautiful, so you were made beautiful. It doesn't matter what you look like, you are beautiful. You know, you're intelligent, you're a creative person because God's a creator. You're a creator if you like to do art. Sometimes people say, I'm no good at anything. That's a lie. You're good at probably almost everything, right?
Right.
That's what Shara says. She says, I've found that if I really apply myself,
Right.
I can be good at almost everything.
Sure.
And we don't have to be...
Anybody can.
Yeah, we don't have to be excellent. We don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. And excellence, especially in creativity and art, is in the eye of the beholder. So you just have to realize that you were made to be creative. You're beautiful. You're intelligent. And God has a destiny for you. And those are the truths that you have to put on. You have to know, I am that I am, how God made me.
Right. So back in the days of when Ephesians 6 was written by Paul, the men who were in the army, they would take their belt of truth and they would wrap their tunics or their clothing in their belt to free their feet, so that they could battle properly, so that they wouldn't be tripping up on their long clothes.
Right.
And so that's another reason why we need to put on our truth, so that we're not tripping up on the things of this life that distract us, that cause us to make bad decisions, and then lead us down a path that we weren't wanting to go on.
Yeah.
And so as we let this truth be our standard of living, and as we let it become part of our habit, part of who the core and fabric of our personality and of who we are, we're going to start seeing that we are overcoming the lies.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's moment by moment,
Right.
day by day, but you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And pretty soon you recognize that you are living in truth, and that is bringing you freedom.
Right, right. That is exactly how you get free. If your clothes are always falling down, you're not able to run, and we're called to run the race set before us. And so you ever see those people where their pants are always falling down? You're like, man, how can that guy? They can't. They're walking all funny. They're going slow. Put on the belt of truth. Know who you are. Know what's going on. And then you're able to accomplish the things that God set you out to accomplish.
That's right. So as part of your prayer every morning, you want to pray, God, I choose to put on the belt of truth today. I choose to stand on your truth. I choose to let it be my core support. I will tighten it and wear your truth as my core support. I choose to believe and walk in your truth and let it recalibrate my thoughts and decisions.
Yeah, that's the fact. You have to know who you are, what you believe, and who your God is and who your God says you are. And that is the only way you're going to be victorious.
Yes.
Awesome.
So thank you for joining us on Getting Truth. And join us for the next episode where we talk about the next piece of armor.
Yeah, full armor of God. Get real on Barron.tv.